Now that we have created the submarine, and of course you could do more refining the design, but we just want to give a quick example of this. Now we're going to test it to see how deep it could actually dive. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to go ahead and go into Environment, Stress Analysis, and what I'm going to do once this starts is I'm just going to hit Create Simulation, hit OK, and leave it at the defaults for now. We're looking for a basic test. In order for this to test, it's going to want us to go ahead and constrain some surface on it so it doesn't slip around like a wet egg. So we're going to go ahead and fix, and this is something you'll need. You'll need a flat surface somewhere on your object. So even if you made a cylinder or if you made a sphere, you're going to have to put a little tiny flat surface on it so you can fix it. Or if you had a cylinder, you could use a frictionless constraint, might also work on that. So what I'm going to do, and there's little descriptions for them. If you hover over them, you can kind of see what's going on. What I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to apply it to that face. Now we're going to assume, since they're all the same, that it'll be alright, all the same faces here. So it'd be kind of like that was setting against the bottom of the ocean. Now I'm going to put a pressure, and I want to put a pressure on all sides. So I'm going to select all the sides that I can. And if you have more surfaces, you're going to have to select all of those surfaces as well. Every single surface has to be selected. Now make sure not to double select a surface because then it doubles whatever pressure you put on it. So I even selected the one that I had fixed. And I'm going to go ahead and set my pressure here. Remember that we have about 0.433 psi for every foot of depth we go. So I know that this design is not going to be real great. I'm going to start with 5 psi. I'm going to say OK. And I'm going to simulate. And it's already telling me that one of the or more of the bodies will be treated as solid. It's having problems because I made it too thin. It's going to have problems calculating it. I hit run there, and now I'm going to go ahead and see if it'll calculate for me. And this will take a little bit of time to do this. This might be a time to double check your calculations, make sure that you met all the constraints, made sure it was under 1,500 pounds, at least 120 cubic feet of volume. And then we are looking for a safety factor of at least 5. So that's kind of what we're waiting to go ahead and come up here. Should be about done. Now, seeing that we have these errors, we probably want to go back and redesign it, but once again, this is an example. So right here's the safety factor. If I double click on it, it says my minimum safety factor is 1.24. So this does not meet our constraints. And I can look at displacement. That's kind of fun to look at as well. So it's saying at the center of these boxes, it's displacing almost 2 inches. So what I could do is I could go back and finish stress analysis, redesign my product, come back into stress analysis and work with it again. Or I can come up here under loads and I can say, okay, 5 psi is too much. Let's say we're trying to dive in a bathtub and we want to go 2 feet. So that'd be about 1 psi. And I could go ahead and re-simulate it. Now, that is the concept of how this works. Ideally, you'd realize that this is a poor design. You'd go back and you'd go ahead and redesign the whole submarine to something that is going to be better. I just want to show you the example of how to go through all of the steps.